Hey there, guys. Welcome back and happy Tuesday. I'm delighted you are able to join me this evening. I want to send a thank you to all the guests, viewers, and supporters, because without you, there would be no Indie Spotlight or Indie Spotlight Special Edition. I am your host, Shayrenee, and tonight's episode is a good one. For the Indie Spotlight Special Edition Tuesdays happening right now on Instagram Live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are having Kareem Keyz to the Game on. I'm excited because Kareem is a music bizwiz, a music business consultant. He also helps you with music and social media and online marketing. And he is going to stop by and give us some good advice and some great tips. And I noticed that he's also having a workshop. So we're going to wait until he enters the room. We'll invite him to the camera and then we will start the interview. Oh, and I almost forgot. Please keep your comments at a minimum so that we don't distract our guest. However, there's a loaded question box below. You can send all the questions. So I'll get to most of your questions, as many as I can. And if there's any technical difficulties, I will just cut the live off and start it on again. I hope I'm doing everything right here. So I hope everybody's feeling good. I think it's a nice day outside. I'm stationed in Philadelphia. I may have to start this over again. Hello. I hope I don't have to start it over again. I'm trying to invite the other party. If not, I'll start the live over again. You guys can come back. And, oh, here we go. Camera. I think I already did it. Hey.
What's up? How you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm going to pin your name in the bottom of the comment section.
All right, cool, no problem.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
My day's going pretty good. I can't complain. What about yours?
Good. Mine is okay. Going pretty good. But I'm glad to have you on here so that we can talk to you and talk to you about some questions. So tell me, where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey. What about you?
Okay.
Philly, right?
Okay. Yes, I'm in
Ah,
Philadelphia,
see,
PA.
I remember.
Yes. Is that South Jersey or just?
Oh, yeah, South Jersey. I mean, I guess it really all
Oh,
depends on where you actually define South Jersey. Like, South Jersey for me is past Trenton. South Jersey for some people might be like Sicklerville or something like that.
I never thought of it in that way.
Yeah.
So great. So tell me, tell me a little bit like about you. So like, because I know you tell a lot of music business and you have a lot of ways for new artists and independent artists to market themselves and critiques on their presence and stuff like that. They can get them more benefits for themselves. So tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about you.
Well, my journey with music started back in 2006. I had a buddy who he was doing this long before I was, and he had just threw it out there like, "Hey, like let's write some raps." And I mean, from there, it kind of was love at first sight in a sense, because I kind of never gave up on music from that day going forward. It was always something that I really wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted, like where I wanted to be in it, or like where I
Hmm.
wanted to be positioned. I was
Yeah.
introduced to it as an artist, like from an
Okay.
artist perspective. So,
Yeah.
so that's what I thought I was gonna do. But as time went forward, there was a bunch of other different roles um, introduced to me through music, of course, but there were other roles that I thought were far more interesting than being the artist. So I fell in love with being a videographer and a photographer. I fell in love very briefly. This was a short love affair with making beats. So I probably did that for a little bit. Um, I migrated from that. I did a little bit of managing. Um, I've done the digital marketing stuff, building websites. So like I played a bunch of different roles, but none allowed me to feel more accomplished than the role that I'm in right now. And I know that because it's like what I'm doing right now gives me sheer and complete joy. Like it doesn't even feel like work. It just feels really joy.
Yeah.
I've been doing
Yeah.
this. I went full time with the coaching idea roughly about a couple years ago, and
Hmm.
it all started with just like a few videos that I would put up on the on Instagram, and the fact that I was getting responses back from people about the subject matter,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, like people care about what I have to say, like you know.
Definitely.
So like as I began to see that, I entertained it more and more, and then once I seen that, I was building a following, I was like, whoa. Okay, like we can
He's
do
like,
something.
hey, I can. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. This is your calling.
yeah.
Isn't it funny that I noticed that most people who are now music consultants,
Hmm.
who are business whizzes, always, most of the time, I won't say always, but 9 times or 8 times out of 10 started out as the artist.
Yeah,
And I always would say that, I always tell people that either they're going to be the artist and then go into the business part, or they're going to be in the business and go and be an artist.
yeah,
And it's mostly time the other way around. It's mostly time the other way around.
right.
So here's one question before we get started. It says, from Loretta's only, what made you want to switch from being an artist into coaching artists?
Shout out Loretta, that's my guy. What made me want to switch? Uh, it was like I said, it was how it made me feel. Like I felt good when I
Mm-hmm.
was writing rhymes and rehearsing them in my room and recording stuff. I felt great when I was a photographer. I mean, one of my pictures that I took even made it as far as ESPN. So there was plenty of potential there. So like I felt good doing that. I felt good, doing all the other things too. But the way that I feel right now, doing what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing right now, totally different level, like unexplainable level. So that's what made me ultimately switch. Now I still dibble and dabble, like I can't get rid of the artist part of me, like that part is
Yeah.
not going anywhere. But for the most part, I like giving the information.
That's awesome. Awesome. And I think, you know what? I think as you being a music artist, that you are multi-layered in that way because you're actually doing it. So I think that all music artists are some part consultant or music business whiz, and they're the artists anyway. And that part, you feel good when you can help other artists, and you can feel good when you can get them to navigate them easily. Do you have any music or merchandise out?
Do I have any music or merchandise out? I mean, I have some music on SoundCloud that's like 4 years old, but I'm not pushing
Is it
it.
under Keys to the Game?
Nah, it's under another name that I used to use. I'm not put.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not pushing it.
Okay. That's fine.
As far as merch goes, I don't really focus too heavily on merch. Not at the moment. I do want some, like even if it's just for me. I want some, but
Yeah,
but right
yeah.
now, majority of my focus is just on like the digital product and service aspect of stuff. That's where I'm at with it right now.
So yeah, so actually like any classes that you have, right? Those are actually like well maybe when I'm saying merchandise, like do you have so tell me about like your website and if you have anything to
Oh,
purchase on
like
your
my
website
offerings
and stuff
and
like
stuff
that.
like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I offer a lot of free stuff. I give a lot of free game.
Mhm.
The most notorious free game that I have right now is a workshop that's dropping. I mean, we're going live tomorrow, 7
Mhm.
p.m. Um, excuse me, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The topic of the conversation is going to be about the 5 hidden secrets that artists aren't told.
Mhm.
Um,
I think I signed up for it.
oh,
What
for
will
real?
you what medium will you be using?
I have a platform that I use called Easy Webinar. It's dope.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You should have gotten an email not too long ago with like some extra information. So check that out when you get a chance. But yeah, the event's gonna be dope. I just started promoting it today. I changed my bio and everything on Sunday, but I officially promoted it today, and I'm at 28 registrations in one day.
Great.
So, this is obviously something that a lot of people want to know. And when I tell you, I can't, I wish I could say right now, I wish I could say at least one of the things right now,
Well, you
but
got to go to the you got to go to the pro you have to
gotta
go
go,
to
gotta,
the webinar that
yeah,
you're doing in
gotta
order to
show up,
find out
gotta
all of
show
that.
up. And I got some free stuff
You
I'm
got
giving away too for people who pull up. So, but yeah,
so where
go ahead.
I'm sorry not to
No, go ahead.
interrupt you, but where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me right here on Instagram, of course. This is my home. This is like
Yeah.
Instagram is like my castle, right? And then like LinkedIn is like my getaway home. So you can find me on LinkedIn too. Um, LinkedIn, I have a Facebook page too. I'm not as active on Facebook, but I do check my
Yeah.
messages and stuff like that. So if that's all you got, it won't be a waste of time to shoot me a message.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have an emailing
Awesome.
list too. Sorry. By the way, I have an
Hmm.
emailing list. If you want to know how to get on that, just shoot me a DM.
Okay, so just shoot you a direct message if you want to get on the emailing list. That way, if you're in the emailing list, you will be able to see everything you have to offer, free webinars, tips, stuff you're doing, or events you're throwing, right?
That's right. That's correct. Yep. All the
Right.
updates, all the extra hidden tea that people don't get on Instagram. If you're on my list, you get. I mean, you get great stuff regardless for me here on Instagram and everywhere else. But if you're on my list, VIP.
So all of the information that you give, this is from also your experiences, right? And experiencing working with hands-on working with artists.
That's correct.
Could you tell me about some of the people that you actually worked with?
Yeah, so right now, I'm wrapping up a program and going into the second phase of the program. The first time around, it was a hit. I worked with about 8 different artists. Loretta's only being one of them. He actually just jumped in. The one guy jumped in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's one of my good guys. He was in the program. We worked together for 4 weeks. We went over some amazing topics covering branding, some real deal specifics about Instagram, some real live practical things you can do to grow a fan base and nurture them and convert them into buying customers or paying fans or whatever you want to call them. Super fans is the bigger term. Turn how to turn strangers into super fans. So yeah, the thing was amazing. It was amazing. It was so amazing. I brought it back again. This wave, I got some heavy. I mean, all heavy hitters, but I got some of the guys that's like really, really, really been following my platform for some time now, and I'm like super ecstatic. But yeah, I got Zoji in there. Shout out to Zoji. If he's seen this right now, he probably would jump in. But regardless, shout out to him. I've got A1 Doc in there too. Make both guys excellent music. Shout out to both of them. But yeah, that's that, and then I got some of the Jersey talent too that that I grew up with around here. Some guys that are like underground, but definitely movers and shakers to say nothing but the least.
Great. So besides your webinar about the 5 things you said that a lot of independent artists don't know,
Mhm.
or I'm not sure exactly the title of it. Do you have any upcoming appearances, events, or performances or anything like that?
Anything upcoming?
Hmm.
Not at the moment. Um, I do have a lot of interviews that I'm looking at scheduling for my podcast. My podcast is usually where I have a lot of the real super special guests and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Oh, oh okay.
because I've been so fixated on like executing this workshop, because like I'm a one man band. You know, like I make a lot of this
Yeah.
happen by myself. You know, so like it may look
Yeah.
like it's not easy. Put it to you like that.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not. No. I really can applaud another person for sticking with someone, for having the diligence, for being so organized, from being so precise and making it easily understood. And that takes time for other people. For other people, it does take a lot. It really does. And then you have to make videos, and then you have to edit
yeah.
them or whatever. It's a lot. It is a lot. And that is something that like once you get like that kind of knowledge where you can do something like that, it's like it's just priceless.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, I would like to have more people, like more stuff, events coming up, but I'll be
Hmm.
jumping back into that pretty soon, like after the workshop, after I get a hold of the workshop.
Great. Have you done any past events?
Yes, I've had Alex Gershwin. Alex Gershwin
Hmm.
is the VP of something business. I can't remember his exact job title, but it's something like that for Song Trust. Song Trust is one of the top publishing admins for
Sound Trust?
Song Trust.
Oh, Song Trust. Okay, tell
Yeah.
me more about Song Trust. 'Cause I never heard.
So Song Trust is a publishing it's a publishing administrating company, and what they do is
Mm-hmm.
they help artists claim their royalties here in the States and abroad. So that, you know, they're able to help independent artists claim royalties in areas where that artist normally wouldn't be able to get those things done, or if they signed with a label and then the label handled that for them, but at a very huge, hefty price. So, you know, they're notoriously known
I,
for supporting artists in that fashion.
I think they get royalties for like your music overseas.
Yeah,
Is that yes, yes. So I because like in the beginning when I started, I had like became a member of all these different places. Like when I went to school, they were talking about like you said, Song Trust. I
right,
think it was like Song Trust, Sound Exchange, BMI, ASCAP, Harry Fox. You know, just all these other places
right.
for legality reasons. But that is definitely something good to know. So I do want to ask you is what is some of the best advice you could give to up and coming artists? Not the ones that's in your workshop, but just like some offhand advice.
Um, Invest in your education as
Mm,
early as
mm-hmm.
possible. Like whatever opportunity you can take to get more knowledge as far as the music business goes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the sooner you learn that stuff, the better off you'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, period.
I
Period. Knowledge
I
is
no,
knowledge is power.
I agree because it's a couple businesses working all together with music. It has a lot to do with media. It has a lot to do with online presence. And and then you honing your craft, I kind of feel like it's like 80% all of that stuff, and then 20% your music. If you can get all that, like your music, you can do, you're great at it. But what about all of the things that make it happen? That big machine, how can it be broken down,
Right.
right? Right. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but I don't use it actively.
Okay, you don't use the YouTube,
Yeah.
but you use your website, right?
I use my website mainly for the blog. I have a blog article up there, and then like my service
Oh,
stuff like that. So if people want to work with me on specific projects, I have that information up there.
are you also um are you also available for someone to like for like consultant sessions or music consultant sessions?
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. I do a lot of one-on-one stuff with people. All you have to do is DM me um,
Do work
if
with
you want
you.
to know more about that.
If you had the chance to work with any artist, whether mainstream or independent, who would you want to work with?
Mainstream or independent, who would I want to work with?
Uh-huh. Hmm. Or give me a couple that you want to work with. I know it's a hard thing to do, but give me a
Okay,
couple.
so I got a good one. It's mainstream and it's Kanye West. I would want to work with Kanye West. I would want to know what what goes through his mind about a lot of things. Like I want to know what his thought process is, or even if he has the same thought process about different things, like whatever it is, I'd want to know more about his ideology on lots of things. Um,
No, I can see that. That's great.
yeah,
That's good. I
for
think that'd be a good
sure.
combination.
um,
And go ahead, you got a couple more. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you while you think.
and
While
I
you,
was trying to think. I'm trying to think indie on the indie side. Who would I wanna? Who's fully indie? Oh, K Camp. K Camp. Remember K
Oh
Camp?
yeah, okay. I like K Camp's music. Yeah, really
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
music. I was just playing some.
I like K Camp. I've always liked K Camp. K. Ooh, it's a toss up. K Camp or Rich Homie Quan. I don't know, but yeah. Sorry, you got me thinking. You got me thinking. That was a good question.
And I
That was a good question.
so part two of that question is there anybody in music business or a company in music business, a person, a mogul, or just just like a company or record company or anything that you would want to actually work with?
Ooh. Um. Yeah, I don't know any names of places in specific, but it'd be great if I could like work alongside indie labels that have fresh talent coming in and they want to run their talent through a training program where that talent would then learn a bit more about how to be a music entrepreneur so that,
Mm.
you know, the label, it's easier on the label. There's
Mm-hmm.
an understanding from the artist side. Everyone, it's a win. It'll be everything that's done is a win for everybody because everybody's educated. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if I
I
could,
like that.
yeah, if I could work alongside labels like that, and that's a lighten on the bird. It's like a lighten on the load for them. You know, they don't have to take on the burden of drilling certain things into an artist's mind. You know.
I think that is awesome. And I think that was a couple keys you just dropped right there. That was enough for the almost for the whole session that we're having. So
All
I
right.
think that is a great idea. I feel like it's mixed with like entrepreneurship meets A&R. Like I'm liking that. I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that was good. That's great.
yeah, it's one of my recent ideas.
Yeah, and I think you would be really, really good for that. And in fact, I think that I think that a lot of places and music entities and places need that. They need more people.
Yeah,
They need more people like you to do things like that for them.
like
They really do.
it's like it's like I would come in and help them with a portion of their duties and responsibilities that is probably cumbersome to them if they really think about it. and I just come in
Yeah, yeah,
at a fee, of course, but I come in
of course.
with a way to alleviate that for them and make things better. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
people,
I feel it. I feel like it's needed, and I feel like at first it's a great idea, and I feel like it's very needed. And independent artists and artists need that. They need the right kind of educators and the right amount of support, and they need the right amount of programs that's surrounding them to make them into what they are. When you see the artists now, that is not like I would tell people if you see a huge act like Rihanna or Beyonce or something like that, they are not like a solo singer. It's like a 8 to 10 person team working all behind that so that all they have to do is focus on what they're doing, you know?
true, that's true. It's like a well-oiled engine.
Yeah. Yeah, right, right. Yeah. So, do you currently work with any organizations?
No, but I would love to. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, there's so many things that I
It
want to
is.
do that, like, not that I'm not able to do, but just like right now, what my goal is and like what I'm positioned on
Yeah.
right now is not that just yet. But like, I want
Yeah.
that. Like, that's definitely on the list. You know?
That's all
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. And if you know any good causes or anything that I can attach myself to, like, or get involved in, shoot me, let me know, please.
Definitely. I like you because I like what you're doing because you are one thing like about music or even music education or music, you must be proactive, must be a self starter.
Hmm.
And then everyone else, gets on and wants to work with you and stuff, but you must first self start. That's one of the biggest things.
Right,
And I like that.
right.
I was showing my mom the beginning of your show with the music and stuff, and my mom's like, "Oh, this is really nice." Like I was like, "Cool, I'm about to sit down and watch a series," which it is. But who is who is singing the beginning, or what artists are on the beginning song of your opening trailer? You were talking about them.
Okay. You mean like my original videos?
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
bring those back, man. That's was a good time in history for me. Um,
It was good to show the studio and everything. I was like, cool, because I'm like I watch a lot of,
yeah.
well, I had like Tracy Leon, who was a rapper in the 90s and stuff, who made the song The Theme. I'm sure you're familiar with who that is. Not sure. So okay, so he made it. We was little. Let's just make it like people our age,
Okay.
and he became a music lawyer. I have that episode. You can watch the episode. But yeah, he became a music lawyer. So I mean, like I understand like how much, I'm sorry, how much that's
Okay.
needed in there. Yeah. But go ahead, you were telling me about your trailer. I don't mean to get too caught up.
Sorry. Yeah, the trailer. Yeah, that was like a really good moment in history for me. Um, what I would do in the beginning is I like really wanted to show a lot of love to indie artists. So that's why like I would pick people that I knew, and I would put their music in the beginning of my episodes. And it was just a way to get them out there because I knew that what I was doing, I didn't want to stop. Like I knew I was gonna keep it going. Um, but when it came down to putting the artist music in the beginning, it was just so that I could show these people love. And then if I could take them with me some way, somehow, on my journey
Hmm.
up, I would do that. So that's what the music is
Yeah.
about.
So I want to talk a little bit about the creative process. How long does it does it take? So I know like you being a creator, how long does it take for you to do these videos and edit these videos? Is it because like that takes up time in your day?
Yeah, yeah, it does definitely take a lot of time. You definitely have to block out time in the week to handle all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, the mission has to get accomplished, so you do it.
So So how long have you been a music consultant and doing giving like your keys or your tips? How long have you been doing this?
Roughly about 2 years now.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. So, hopefully hopefully one day when it's better and all the stuff is not going on and the pandemic has ceased, I hope in some way and shape or form me and you could work together on something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down to partner, do stuff. I like one of the things I always try to do is especially when I meet new folks is let's just see where things go. Like if there's any way that I can help you, if you need somebody to critique something, need just like an extra
Mm-hmm.
set of eyes or somebody to review something or
Mm-hmm.
show up on a show of yours, like I just want to be that accountable person. And no, I'm not expecting anything in return, but if it works out, it
Mm-hmm.
works out.
Yeah, yeah. I think you know something else. I think a lot of people that give music business or give music advice, I don't see enough collaboration between the two people. I would like to see
You
more
know
of
what?
that. Yeah.
That's crazy that you mention that because that's one of the things that I really pride myself on. I actually just got done taping a podcast episode between a gentleman named Tom and I. Tom runs a platform called The Collective. It's an artist development
Mm,
agency out in the United Kingdom. We sat for about an hour and just chopped it up, and the conversation was great. And then
great.
I have another couple people on the roster too for some future episodes, and they're coaches here on Instagram. Actually, one of them, Twisted Dot Coaching, he jumped in earlier. He's another one on Instagram that does what I do. Dude's really dope. He's got great content. So I pulled him. I reached out to him. He may have reached out to me. I can't remember. But either way, I pitched the idea to him. It was just because I love working with like-minded individuals. Every Tuesday,
Hmm.
today is Tuesday. Tonight, I do a clubhouse room with my Instagram partner, Amy Ione, who runs the Cherries on Top brand. She's a branding genius, and we do a clubhouse every Tuesday. Her and I work together. It's all its strength in numbers. That's really all it is at the end of the day.
So that is awesome. So you have collaborated already with some music coaching and music
Absolutely.
advice experts,
Hmm.
such as yourself. So that is awesome that you're actually reaching out and working with a lot of other people because like you do need like community.
Right.
Do you have any clients that was maybe like your favorite thing to do when you're coaching someone? Or you have a favorite topic?
Yes. Instagram. I like talking about
Instagram, yes.
yeah because
The
because
music social
Instagram
media holy grail.
Instagram is one of those platforms where it's got over 500 million, I think 500, yeah, like 500 million active users. And, there's a lot of people on here using the platform. Some people using it, excuse me, for personal use. Some people using it for business use. And then you have a lot of people out there using it more so for business use, but they're using it incorrectly. So it's like
Mm,
you're here and you're trying to reap the benefits of such an amazing platform, but you don't even understand what an algorithm is. So how can we count on you to be doing what you're saying that you're doing on here? So I love
mm,
talking about Instagram because I just love enlightening people to how advantageous of a platform it can be. And the more that you learn about it, the more you can really take the traffic, take the free
yeah.
traffic that's on Instagram and turn it into traffic that's going to show up for you for whatever your objective or goal is.
So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Mhm.
Could you give just like a couple short words about exactly what is an algorithm?
Yeah, so the algorithm on Instagram is just It's artificial intelligence. It's
Hmm.
it's your Siri, it's your Alexas, it's your OK Googles, it's all that. It's just a really well calculated and defined set of rules. Because if you really think about it, remember there's 500 million people on Instagram daily. There's no amount of staff in the world that's going to be able to keep up with moderating over 500 million people. There has to be some type of smart computer system that can handle all the different things that are happening on the platform. And that's what the artificial intelligence on Instagram does. Moderates the platforms. Moderates the platform just to make sure that everything is smooth sailing. A lot of people aren't even aware that it exists, but it does, and it
Yeah.
controls a lot that happens on Instagram.
And so this is actually a really good topic you brought up about the algorithm.
Oh,
So the
before
algorithm intelligent. I'm sorry, no,
I said it.
I'm with you. I'm drinking. I'm drinking like vegetable juice too. Because sometimes you can forget to like do a lot of stuff when you just sitting there doing when you going in with working. So so the artificial intelligence, we actually like everybody on here is feeding the algorithm its intelligence. Is that right or no?
In a sense, yeah, they're
Okay.
they're feeding it they're feeding it what it needs to do what it's designed to do.
Mm, okay, great. So the next question I wanted to also ask is how important is it to have monetization as an artist?
Oh, I mean, are you doing this as a hobby or are you really trying to do it full time and support yourself and your family or whatever your objectives are? Because if it's that, then um, you definitely want to focus on monetizing. If it's not, then keep doing what you're doing. But
Hmm.
if you want to take this serious, you have to understand that it's important to monetize and know strategy that with things and ways that you can market and advertise yourself to do that.
Yeah. I often see like you said, it depends. I guess it depends on what you want to do because you can use social media to advertise. Let's say you're using social media as an artist to advertise your performances.
Right,
But then when you can switch it or not switch it, but do it in such a way where you can stretch it and get monetized and do your performances on the outside. It's like two streams of income.
right.
But yeah. So that's why I just asked a little bit about monetization. And do you have any independent artists that you're working right now with that is one of like your favorite artists or no?
I'm like a parent when like your parents got a bunch of kids. Right?
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I love them all equally. They've got their individual things to them that really get them to stand out in my heart. Um,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I don't really have any favorites, honestly. I like everybody's stuff.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
What would be as an artist, what would be the best advice about that you should have about working with other artists?
Oh, like collaboration.
Yeah, yeah. Collaboration is
Uh,
key, I know, but what makes it so important?
because you get to take advantage. Well, first of all, two brains are always better than one. That's first and foremost. And then secondly, if we're talking, artist to artist collaboration, this is an opportunity for you to take advantage of someone else's network, someone else's fan
Mhm.
base. If they're a serious artist and they have plans of having a large group of super fans, then that works for you because now it's like you're cross pollinating audiences, and it's just a very fast way to level up and tap into some new markets. Because what if that person is from a different genre? You like imagine me doing doing a song with somebody from El Salvador or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like popping
Yeah.
in El Salvador. You know, like it would be lit because now like I just by working with this person now have a fan base out in El Salvador. So I'm good out there too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a whole other source of revenue that I can instantly tap into at that point. So collaboration is very important.
So this is normally the time in the interview when I ask my guests if my guests have a question for me. If they do, they can ask me, and if they don't.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing what you've been doing? You may have.
How long have I been? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. How long have you been doing this? I mean, maybe not just this, but your journey in general.
Yeah, so my journey with like music begins in 2014.
Mhm,
I start I leave, I get my GED from Temple University.
mhm,
I immediately start at Community College of Philadelphia.
mhm.
I go there or start as a vocal performance major. I'm a singer.
Okay.
So then I graduate 4 years later in 2018. After that, I get accepted into three colleges for vocal performance, for a bachelor's in vocal performance, Westchester, U of A, and Temple University. I picked Temple University for music education first. After 2 weeks, I was quickly transferred over to jazz vocal performance, and I stayed there for about 2.5 semesters before leaving to pursue my music career. At the time, though, I was asked to join a record label. And after about 11 months of working on music, I was told that the record label was no longer interested in me. So that's like around I say, probably like the end of 2019. So the beginning, so fast forward, beginning of 2020, I had to go through that. And I definitely think that music has a different side of anxiety and a different side of depression sometimes from the up and down of trying to be seen, trying to get your music out there, trying to get funds and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But let me go, let me go back to 2020. So after in 2020, I went to go get a job, but everything shut down because in March of 2020, COVID-19 happens. So after that, a couple things happened in my family. I experienced like in the end of November 2020, a family member of mine was murdered, and then in February 2021, a family member passed away unexpectedly. So February 2021, I seen a bunch of artists on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I seen nobody talking about them. I seen all the good things they were doing, the restaurants, the businesses, everything that got messed up, and because of COVID, people was dying, people were losing their businesses and stuff like that. And I said I can open up my platform to do it. So I started in February in 2021, and I wanted to talk about the things that they do behind the music scenes, the
Right.
consultant stuff, which is hugely important. So that's how I came to start this. So I've been doing it since February 2021. Long story short, yeah, February 2021. I just wanted to give you a little bit about what was going
That's
on.
cool. Yeah. Word. That's what's up. So,
Oh, oh, I was about to say, sorry. It actually, it froze a minute. I'm sorry. Now, back to you, what you were talking about. I didn't hear what you were saying.
no, I was just still asking you about you.
I'm sorry. Back to you. I'm sorry. It
Can
keeps going out a little bit.
you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I was still asking you about you. So, as far as Instagram goes, are you liking how things are going on Instagram?
So that's another funny story too. I actually got banned on Facebook for 30
Oh,
days
okay.
and my Instagram was open. So then I started exploring Instagram, and I was like, Instagram is like YouTube and Facebook combined together, but faster and only pictures and not statuses. So Instagram has shortened our instant gratification, which we already were used to as Americans or as, as people.
Right.
So I started working Instagram, and I started saying, dang, like, okay, this is where I should make my interviewing spot at.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. I like Instagram and all things Instagram, if you can't already tell by now.
I want to tell you also, thank you for being so reachable, for making me able to talk to you and be
Oh,
reachable.
of course. Listen, I want to always keep it that way. I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to feel like I'm too far out of reach. You know, like I feel like you get the best information when you keep your ear to the streets, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, and that's how I even got to know how to even do what I'm doing or be where I'm at with it. So I would never shy away from it.
Well, you make it look cool. I'm happy to see I'm happy to see a young black man talking about music business in the way that he's talking about it, in that sophistication, so that everybody can see and be like, oh, I need to listen to this guy, or I need to get some information. I need to get some keys. So
Yeah,
like
I try.
they don't have that like on pictures and stuff like that, or like on series and on TV and stuff. I don't see that a whole
Nah,
lot.
it's unique.
I don't.
It's unique, and I wasn't thinking about any of that when I started this. I started
Hmm.
because it just felt right, and then
Yeah,
it just so happens that the alignment of everything else going forward is just too unbelievable. Like divine, everything about it has got divine timing written all on it. Like it's crazy.
definitely, definitely. So is there anything else that you would like to add or like to talk about before wrapping up the interview?
Um, I mean, you asked some really good questions. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, those are some pretty good questions. I enjoyed those. Oh, I mean, I have something that I can add for sure. Um, uh, the music release, the rollout. I know that like in my time of doing what I've been doing for the past couple of years, there was a period in time where like I was doing 15-minute coaching calls. And
Oh man, don't tell me we lost signal.
can you hear me? It dropped out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
can hear you now.
yeah, so I was doing coaching calls for a bit, and I did like over 100 of them at some point. And then once I hit that 100th call, like I looked back at the data that I was collecting, and I noticed that one of the number one things that artists struggled with was knowing how to properly release music. Properly do a rollout. People don't even acknowledge it as the term rollout. But when you call it a rollout, it makes so much more sense because you're not just
Mhm.
dropping it, saying, "Hey, I have new music," and expecting for it to go to the people that you intend for it to go to. It's not. It's
Mhm.
called a rollout because you have to roll stuff out over time. You drip stuff over time, and so there's a strategy behind it. And when I realized that
Mhm.
that was one of the number one things that they struggle with, um, that's kind of like next to Instagram. That'd probably be my second best thing, second favorite thing to talk about because you want to make sure that you release your music in the best way possible. It's your product. Your music is your product, and you gotta treat it the right way. There's no company out there that ever had a product and didn't market it, and it's the same exact thing with artists and their music. It's your music is the product. Once you're done, you're off the mic. There's still work that has to be done. I mean, off the mic. So you want to make sure that you roll it out properly. So just a heads up for all artists that might be having some new music that's coming out soon. Just think about it. Like really sit down and take the time to think about your rollout and what you want to include and the timing of things and people you want to reach out to in advance to make things happen throughout the course of the rollout. So yeah, that would be the last thing that I would have to add.
So, could you tell everyone about where they can find you at again and the class that you're doing that you're
Oh,
giving out? I think tomorrow on the
oh yeah,
webinar.
absolutely. You can find me here on Instagram, of course. And if you end up maybe repurposing this somewhere else, you can also find me on LinkedIn. I am on Twitter too. I didn't mention that earlier. I'm on Twitter, not actively, but like I said, I always keep my ear to the streets. I got to know what's going on. So,
Yeah.
you can follow me on there too, and you can also find me on Facebook. Now the event that I'm having is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to take a deep dive into 5 hidden secrets that indie artists are not told in the beginning of their careers. So if you're interested in that, pull up. Link is in my bio to register. Hope to see you there.
So one more question that I have actually is, I see digital streaming platforms as the record companies reincarnated. You can't get paid that much off of streams unless you have a lot of them. So I look at them as pure as a lot of for promotion.
You said
What
you
is like
said
your
labels
stance on
reincarnated. That is hilarious.
it?
That is hilarious.
Because if I look at it, like one of these streaming labels was bought by a record company or something like that. I'll get into more of that later, but I just want to hear your opinion because I know you got a lot of knowledge of it. So I'm going to get something that I'm going to get some really really good information asking you this.
Yeah, the streaming platforms are definitely not compensating artists. I mean, this is arguable for some, but they're not paying them accordingly. I mean, I think that they could
Mm-hmm.
pay them better. I fall on the side that they are a streaming platform and that's it. They're not out here saying that we're a complete one-stop shop market and this is what we're
Mm-hmm.
aiming to do, which is pay you top dollar for the no, that's not what they're there for. And that's just the
Mm-hmm.
reality of the situation. However, I do believe that they should compensate artists something that's at least, moderately livable. Maybe that kind of makes sense. Now, it may not be reasonable to some in the company, but I'm glad that I don't have to make those decisions and I don't work for the company. But I think that they could do a little bit more. Now, as far as what you said with them being labels reincarnated, um, I could see how you could say that because it's like an automated. If you could automate a record label, you know what I mean, and package it in one piece of software to an extent, you do get these DSPs, which is pretty interesting. Um, but I think that they do a great thing and they present a fair opportunity for them
Mm-hmm.
to be heard in the marketplace. Even though we know that the marketplace is very saturated, it's a lot of artists in it, like 40,000 songs a day, so somewhere around that. So it's saturated,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, what if it didn't exist? What if stuff like this didn't exist? There would be imagine
Yeah.
imagine imagine 40,000 artists a day hitting the streets, everybody trying to promote their music in the streets. We better be thankful for for DSPs, okay?
You said when you said them taking the streets. Yeah, they wouldn't be they wouldn't be you wouldn't even be able to hear them. I've also noticed one more other problem as well is that like when artists talk about I see not enough people sharing artists that they support in their Instagram and Facebook stories.
Mm, yeah,
I, I could talk to you about I could talk with you about music business all day and marketing and stuff like that. So I know you're busy and you got a lot of stuff to do. So I want to thank you again for for coming on. Thank you. I hope to hopefully I'll and be able to interview you again and find out
yeah,
where you're at in
for
your journey
sure,
and what you're doing.
for sure. Keep me in the loop.
Okay. And I want to thank everybody for watching as well. Thank you, Kareem, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you for having me. You have a great rest of the night.
Bye.
Peace.